Hello, hello, hello. It's Dolly. I'm back with Create With Me challenge number 4. Our inspiration is coming from this mood board, and my assignment is to do a mixed media journal layout. I am using Vicki Boutin watercolor paper. I am using Creative Memories cutting system, and this is of a flower. I'm taking a pencil and lightly tracing around the flower, because that is going to be my main background, and I am going to fill it in using shimmers, paints, inklings, the green goddess, and the coral reef, which I'm showing you right here. I put some of that on a cellophane paper. I'm using a round tip paintbrush and the water, and I'm saturating those paints. And then once I get the consistency that I like, I'm going to start applying that on the watercolor paper. Now, if you don't have watercolor paper, you certainly can use some, I would say at least 100-pound weight, and then prep it with some gesso. You can use clear or white. You're going to get a little bit different effect because the paint's going to stay on top. Actually, it will move more for you. So anyway, either way is fine. Just get it out. This is a very simple, fun, mixed media layout that will give a nice impact. You'll see at the end. And so now I'm just going to dip in that paintbrush in the coral reef and blend that in. This whole process took me 37 minutes. I did stop the video 3 times just to gather the different supplies, and you'll see that as we move along. Now, I certainly am not making you watch 37 minutes. I have edited out clips once I determined that you got an understanding of the process. And of course, if you have any questions, just at the end of the video, leave me a comment, and I will be certainly have no problem answering or giving any assistance. Sorry for the blooper there. All right, so I'm just going to continue to apply the shimmers paints until it's completely done, which will be shortly. I thought I might use the mermaid color in the Jane Davenport watercolor paints, but I decide that I'm completely happy just using these 2 colors. So I don't even use the watercolor paints that you see over to the right. And I just like ignore that it's even there. Now you'll see that I didn't water down the shimmer paints right here, so you can see that you can definitely get a darker, richer tone. But I decided that I didn't like it that dark, and I was purposely experimenting here to see if I wanted to add more layers to the other areas that I've already completed. But I didn't want it that dark. I decided I wanted to keep it more saturated. So in a minute, you're going to see me get a paper towel, and I'm just going to dab over that, and then I'm going to saturate my paint a little bit more, and you'll see me move that paint. I'll pick up my paper, and you'll see it moving. I know that it's kind of hard to see how much water is really on the paper. I mean, it's not like completely saturated. There's just some there. So there you go, it's completed. Now I have gotten out that tiny flower print, which is from Kaiser Craft, and I'm using my black StazOn ink, and I'm just pressing along. I did some splatters, and I don't know where the first part of the video went, but anyway, you're going to see how I do the splatters, and I'm still using that round pointed tip paintbrush, and I'm just getting the water and dipping it. So you see that, and I do the same thing with the coral reef. Now I'm getting the Tim Holtz Distressed Oxide, in a banded coral, which goes really nice with that coral reef from the shimmer paints. And see, I left a little blooper in here. I dropped my block, but that's okay. I'm going to fix it here in a minute. Now I'm getting out, I'm using a heart that says a stamp in the shape of a heart that says Wild Heart. And I stamp that there. And that's either from Kaiser Craft. I'm pretty sure that might be Kaiser Craft. Now I'm getting out my die cut pack from Felicity Jane called Alexis. And I dumped that out, and I immediately, you see, I saw that girl over there, and I thought, oh yeah, let me put this on here, because I have a saying that I'm placing on here, I'm stamping it on, and that says, be open to whatever comes next. And that can apply with everything in our daily life, our family, our marriage, our work, our kids, our artistic side of life, everything, our being adventurous. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, that's it. I decide that right now I'm just getting Alexis out. And then because I'm going to stamp my saying, I got out my Tim Holtz stamping platform. And I place that on here, and you're going to see another blooper. There are two sides to this platform, and I know that because I've used it several times. And there's one side for rubber stamps and one side for clear stamps. So obviously the last time I used it, I was using rubber stamps. So here I ink up my stamps with StazOn, and I push down, and the E goes down for some reason, but the B doesn't. And I'm like, what? And then I look, I try again, and then I look, and I realize that I need to flip my stamping platform to the clear side. And I do cut out a little bit here, but I just show you. So then what I do to line up my B is I place it on the paper, bring over my stamping platform, it connects to the platform, see, and then I will get the StazOn ink, and I will stamp it and put that on there. Then I will go on to putting the rest of my title. Well, I'll put half of the title on, and then you'll see that in a minute. I'll place my letters on there. And in the end, I do an overview of all the products. And I use the B there is from the Ranger line. Okay, I apologize for the glare from my light, but I'm not going to move my light around just for this short segment of using my stamping platform to put my title. So I'm down to the last word, which is next. And then in a moment, I realize that I need something down there in the right-hand corner. And so I get the little rosette, which is from Bo Bunny stamp, and I use again the Distress Oxide in a banded coral, and I stamp that down. And now I'm happy. Now I felt like I needed to finish the edge. I mean, it was fine just the way it is, but I decided to get out my little mini distressed ink peacock feathers and just lightly ink the entire edge around it. And I decide I'm happy because I was trying to decide, should I blend in towards the middle of my background or just give it a little edge of paint or a little bit of paint. And again, I was perfectly happy. And again, that peacock feather goes well with the Green Goddess inkling from Shimmer Paints. So 2 different companies, 2 different colors, and it worked perfect. I couldn't have planned it any better. I didn't even know. So, but that's all what mixed media is about, is just playing with your product and trial and error. So don't be afraid, ladies and gentlemen out there, if there's any watching. Now, also from that Felicity Jane die cut pack was this little corner, photo corner, and I felt like I just needed something to help continue to draw your eye across the page. So that made me happy. I am very satisfied, and this will be my first page in my Vicki Boutin Mixed Media Journal book. All right, here is my product review of what I used. I'm showing you the shimmer on that page. Isn't that beautiful? That is just gorgeous. All right, so there's the cutting system from Creative Memories. Here's the alphas. I got that from my Secret Not So Secret Kit Club, and I do not remember. It's either a Dear Lizzie from Line or Amy Tan. Now this alpha is Stampendous from 2003 alpha, and then that is from the Ranger. And I don't know if that's Tim Holt's line or not. This is from Kaiser Craft. It's small, tiny little flowers. And that was part of the background that I used. There's that heart stamp. And again, this is either Kaiser Craft. I can't think of the other line that it possibly could be. It could be Bo Bunny. I'm not sure. But if you really want to know, leave me a comment and I will do the research for you. Now this is from Bo Bunny, and there's that flower stamp that I used. So I'm showing you that and the areas that I stamped that. And then here is the Felicity Jane die cut pack. And the 2 elements that I use from that, my Stays On ink, the Distressed Oxide by Abandoned Coral. And you can see my paint brushes that I use. They're both 2 round tips, but different sizes. There's the mini Distressed Ink Peacock Feathers. And then the Shimmer Paints Inklings Green Goddess and Coral Reef. Oh, I'm showing you my paint brushes. Sorry about that. There's another look at the paint. Well, thank you for stopping by. This was fun doing these, and so we are going to continue to bring them once a month. So stay tuned, hit the bell button, like and share, and here are some close-ups of my layout. Bye, and come back again.